So to do storage practical, either you need to have dedicated storage boxes. That means, last time, if you remember, like we talk about storage. So the storage box we actually represent as a disk array. The name is disk array. When you write disk array, if you see the images, you'll see this is your storage where you have only hard disk. So where you may have controller and you may have multiple hard disks, and this storage also connected on network. Okay, so from the switch we'll be giving some kind of connectivity here. Okay. So you may have multiple, like depends on like what company you're using. It may be IBM, it may be Dell, it may be HP. Okay, you may have a different company, and it may be you can see all these are storage. So first of all, like this is not a responsibility of VM administrator to configure the storage and to configure the rates. Okay, but at least you should have some idea like how we can able to make the storage and all these things. So we don't have right now the dedicated storage. So what actually we are doing in our lab? So we'll be making one of the virtual machine as a storage. Okay. On that virtual machine, first, what we are doing, we are going to add new hard disk. Means I'm going to create new hard disk. So whatever the space you want, you can take it. So in my case, I'll be taking 500 GB hard disk. So this is our first step. Okay. And we are going to add two hard disks, that is 500 GB or 1 terabyte, whatever you want. And we are going to make online and create drive for all the space. So whatever the space you have, we are making all the drives. Okay. The second thing here, we need to install one initiator, that is ESXi. So this ESXi initiator will be installing on the top of our server. That means over the, from server manager, we are going to install this. After that, we are going to add this initiator on the ESXi. Okay. Then we are going to make two DV port group. If you remember last time, like we talked about our distributed switch. On the top of distributed, I'm going to make two port group. Okay, we already created port group for management, for vMotion, for production, or maybe if you remember, like we also created DMZ. So I want a dedicated storage port group for the storage. So whenever the traffic coming to my distributed switch, so the traffic is going to be handled by this particular port group. So we can make a dedicated port group. And if you remember, on the top of that switch, we added 4 uplinks. So 2 uplinks, uplink 3 and uplink 4, I'll be adding to these 2 storage. So one of the uplink I'll be used dedicated for the storage one, and one of the uplink, see, uplink is nothing but I'm giving the traffic of storage from one particular NIC card. So storage 1, I'll be assigning like uplink 3. Storage 2, I'll be assigning from uplink 4. And after that, so whenever you try to handle the traffic of storage, vMotion, management, compulsory you have to create one VM kernel port. Okay, so practically I'm going to show you like how we are going to make a VM kernel port. So if you are creating 2 storage, that means we need to have, we need to make one particular port group, VM kernel port group for the storage 1 as well as storage 2. Okay, so this is nothing but we need to configure certain IP. So practically I'll show you this. Then after creating this, then we have to bind like whatever the port group you created, though this port group I have to bind to the ESXi. Okay, that is called network port binding. Then after that, we are going to bind IQ number. Okay, so what is this IQ number we are going to see? And the last thing, we are going to create a data store. And this data store, we are going to format with VMSS, like the way you use NTFS for Windows. Okay, similarly for VMware, we use VMSS, virtual machine file system. Okay, so that means we are going to do these 10 steps. Okay, so if you do practical from your side, maybe first time it will, it will difficult. But if you try to do practical step by step by seeing this particular node, you can easily understand that. Okay. So this file I'm going to save. You know, when you connect to the if you connect to my server, so this file will be available, you know, on the same drive. You just open and try to understand before you do the practical. Then you can able to understand that. Okay. So before we start storage, we don't have any storage box here. Okay. So now what we are going to do? So we are going to make our vCenter as a storage, and this is just only for the test purpose. Okay. You can also have, you know, one application. I remember Starwind something. So you can use that application also. Okay. So that is also used for the you know, the storage practical. So to start this practical, so let me show you one by one. So I'll just go to center. Okay, yes. So this is our vCenter. So what we need to do here? So we are going to make our vCenter server as a storage. Okay, so just only for the test purpose. Okay. So the first thing is, this is actually we're using as a virtual machine. So here I'm going to add 2 virtual hard disks. Okay, whatever the size you want, you can use it. So how we can add 2 hard disks here? Simply, and normally, like how to know how many hard disks are available? You can open your disk management, and here we have option disk management. On the top of disk management here, it will show you total how many hard disks are available. So here I have only one hard disk, that is 100 GB. So this hard disk I'm using for my operating system, where I install application, where I'm doing, the machine which I'm using because of this hard disk. Okay. Other method, you can open server manager. From the server manager, you can go files and storage. So here also you can able to click a disk. So here also it will try to show you like how many hard disks are connected. So it's still loading. So no need to open disk management separately. If you're sitting on a server, directly you can open the server manager. So right now we have only one hard disk here, and that is 100 GB. So first thing is we are going to add 2 hard disks here. Simply I'll go the settings of this virtual machine, and here we click add. So what do you want to add? We have multiple options here. So try to select hard disk, and this is the new virtual hard disk, and the size I'll be giving here total 500 GB. Okay, so the size it is in GB. Next and finish. So right now you can see there are 2 hard disks. One is 100 GB, one more is 500 GB. Now I can add one more hard disk. Next, ESXi, and here one more time I'll be giving 500 GB hard disk. Okay. So once you add hard disk, so that information will come here. Refresh your server manager. So even though like we added hard disk, but one of the hard disks is showing online, and the 2 hard disks is showing offline. Okay, offline means it is not initialized. Okay, so you have to make it as online. How we can do that? Simply you can just right click and bring online. For second hard disk also you can do the same. Okay, so till now what we have done, we added 2 hard disks, and those hard disks, you have to So after adding your hard disk, we have to make it, you have to bring it online so that we can able to use. Okay. And you can make a partition. So 500 GB I'm taking. Letter E, I'm formatting with empty address. Great. This is already taken. CD. The first step, what we need to do, you need to attach two hard disks, and for two new hard disks, you have to make it online and create a drive, and you can use all the space, whatever the space you have. So we created two drives by using all space. The second step we have to do, you have to install one initiator. Okay. So the initiator we represent as iSCSI initiator. So you can say close. Now you can go to your dashboard. You have to install with the help of Server Manager. Just click Add Roles and Features, Role-Based and Feature-Based, and that initiator it will be available inside your file and storage services. You just open it, and here if you go down, one of the options will be available here. So here you have to put a check mark. Okay, iSCSI target server. Okay, just put a check mark here. iSCSI target server. Add features and install it. Okay. So the second step, we have to install iSCSI initiator. To install the iSCSI initiator, we need to open the Server Manager. You have to click Roles and Features. In Roles and Features, you have to go Files and Storage Services. Then you have to go with the option, iSCSI file, iSCSI target server. Just install it. Okay. So once you add, once you install this, now the third step, you have to go to your ESXi and you have to add a software-based initiator. Okay, so that means we are actually doing this practical for iSCSI initiator. So this iSCSI initiator we are going to add to all ESXi. So whatever the ESXi we have in our network, okay. So from which ESXi you want to access your storage, so you have to go to their ESXi and you need to add this initiator adapter. Okay. So how we can do that? Okay, so it is going to finish. So I'll go to my first ESXi. First, need to log in. Administrator@vSphere.com. Password. No. So you just go to your ESXi configuration. So the last time, like we talked about the virtual switches. From here, we created our switches. Now, today we are talking about storage. So where you need to go, you have to go to, like, just go to storage and storage adapter. And here you can see, here you have all the information, like whatever the storage you have, it gives you the complete information. Like this will be your HVA. HVA means this is your, fiber channel. Okay. So normally what happens here, so you have to add this software adapter. Okay. So this is nothing but add software ESXi or SCOC adapter. Okay. So here I'll be adding ESXi adapter, and only one time you can add it. So once it added, second time you cannot add it. So if you rescan, so this option is not going to be highlighted. See, so this option is now gray out. You cannot add. You cannot. The same thing, you can go to your second ESXi, and here also I'm going to add this ESXi software adapter. So whatever the ESXi you have, just go and add it. Okay. So the third step, what we need to do, we need to add ESXi adapter for all the ESXi. Okay, for that we need to log into our vSphere and go to, you have to select the ESXi, just go the configuration. On the top of configuration, you may have the storage adapter. On the storage adapter, you can find this add ESXi initiator adapter. Okay, so whatever the ESXi you have to go and you have to add it. Okay. Now, the fourth part, which is very, very important, we have to make some kind of port group on the distributed switch. Okay. So how you want to handle the traffic of your storage? Okay. So as I told you, like whenever a traffic coming to your network, the traffic is actually coming with the help of only a switch. Okay. So on the top of switch, how you want to allow the traffic? Okay. So if you remember, like here, if you go to our distributed switch, so we just go networking. On the networking, like we created our distributed switch, and on the top of distributed switch, when you see your topology, so here we created 4 port groups. One of the port group I created for my DMZ, for the management, for the production, as well as for vMotion. Okay, but here I don't have any port group for my storage. Okay, so how you want to handle the traffic which is coming to your distributed switch related to the storage? Okay, so first I'll create 2 port groups. Okay, so one of the port group I'll be creating for my storage 1, and even I'm creating for storage 2. Okay, so you can make only one storage also, no problem. So I just go configuration, DVM, and here I'll say new distributed port group. That is what storage, storage 1. Next, so we don't want any VLAN ID. So one of the port group is created. If I go down, so this is our first storage. Now the same thing I can make one more. Name of this group, storage 2. Next, finish. But now here, if you see, if you go to our DMZ, so directly I can show you here. So when you talk about like DMZ, so this DMZ, how the traffic is coming? This port group, the traffic is coming to all the 4 uplinks. For the management also 4 uplinks, even like for storage also 4 uplinks. Okay. So one of the practical even I can show you here. So I can make a dedicated port group for a particular uplink. Means whenever the traffic is coming to the first storage, I can able to handle the traffic based on one particular NIC card. Okay. So to do that, what we can do? Okay. I just go to my storage one and I'll just go to settings, go edit. And if you see the traffic shaping, okay, no, not traffic shaping, teaming and failover. So right now you can see all the 4 adapters are added, means all the 4 LAN cards are going to use by this particular storage one. Okay, so I don't want. Okay, so what I want, so my aim is I want to give a dedicated LAN card to this particular storage one. Okay, that means let's say I want to give dedicated LAN cards like uplink 3. So I'll make all these unused. I don't want to use uplink 1, and even I don't want to use uplink 4. So that means whatever the traffic is coming to my storage one, I want to handle the traffic only with the help of uplink. Okay. For the backup purpose, you can add one more here for the load balance. That is depends. Okay. But right now, the thing which I want to explain here, we are adding one particular uplink for a dedicated port group. You can say okay here. So remaining, I'm using unused. So now if you go distributed switch, and if you click this storage, so here it will show you now the traffic is going to handle only by uplink. So that means dedicated LAN card I give only to storage one. Okay. So this third link card, it is going to handle only the traffic of storage one only. What about this fourth? All the links. So I don't want the whenever the production traffic is coming, so I don't want like the production traffic pass from this third link card. So what I can do, I can unuse that. So I can go management. See, for all the things, what I can do here, just go teaming and failover. So third, I don't want. Fourth, I don't want. Why? Because I'll be using for my storage. So uplink 1 and uplink 2, I'll be using for the management. Okay. The same thing, what I can do, I can go the production. I can go edit. And for the production purpose, what I can do, I don't want to use uplink 3. I don't want to use uplink 4, which is for my storage purpose. Now standard, say unused. Similarly, for storage 1, we have done. For storage 2, I don't want the uplink 1. Uplink 2, even I don't want. Even uplink 3 also I don't want. Why? Because uplink 3 I'm using for my third storage 1. For the vMotion traffic, so vMotion traffic I want to handle only by uplink 2 and uplink 1, but I don't want uplink 3 and uplink 4. I can unuse that. Okay, so this is how you can able to handle the traffic. Okay, so this is not actually a practical of today's topic, but from like this you can able to handle the traffic. So now if you go to your DMZ, so for DMZ you can see all the 4 NIC cards are using. So I don't want. So I just go the NIC DMZ, NIC teaming and failover. Now I don't want like third NIC card and fourth NIC card here. I can unuse it. So whatever the NIC cards are available, so whatever the LAN card you added to your distributed switch, so those NIC cards information will be available. So you can decide how you are going to handle the traffic. So now you can see for DMZ only 2 NIC cards. For management, so management also 2 NIC cards. For production, same 2 NIC cards. When you talk about storage 1, now the traffic is going to handle by the first third NIC card. So I go down. If you see the storage 2, now the traffic is going to handle by uplink 4. For the vMotion, now this traffic is going to handle only by 1 and 2 LAN cards. Okay. So that is our third step. Okay. So we have created 2 DV port groups for storage 1 and storage 2, and we have given dedicated uplink 3 and uplink 4 to storage. So uplink 3 we have given dedication to storage 1, and uplink 4 we have given to storage 2. Okay. Now the next very important practical. Without this, it is highly impossible to make your storage practical. This is the step. Okay. You have to make a kernel port for storage 1 as well as storage 2. Okay. So that kernel port we need to create on the top of your storage. on your so where we can make it. So that is on your ESXi. Like every ESXi you have to create it. So just you have to go to the fourth ESXi, and here you can go your networking, your virtual switches, okay, and here you can go add networking. So what do you want? So we are making VM kernel adapter. Next, for what purpose you are creating? There we already have storage 1 port group and storage port 2 group. See, this is already created. Okay, we are not creating on standard switch. Okay, we are making this kernel port on our DV, our storage, which is we created on the distributed switch. Okay, if you are using standard, then you can select that one. So first, I'll be creating for this storage 1. What IP you want? So every kernel port you have to create, you have to mention one particular IP. Yes. See, in distributed switch, we are making one kernel port to handle the traffic of storage. Okay. We are not making any. We are not making any switch here. On the top of switch, we are making one port, for handle the traffic of this VM kernel. Next, and what IP you want? So here we can mention the IP. Let's say 192.168.57 dot 60. Last time we have given 67. Let's say I give 68 here. Next, and finish. So that is for the storage one. I also have another storage here. Same thing I can do, add networking, VM kernel adapter. I browse, and now I'll be selecting second port group. See, this port group we already created on our distributed switch. So we are attaching this VM kernel adapter to that particular storage. So use the static IP. 69 now I'll give it. Storage IP. So that means whenever the traffic is coming to the first storage, so that is 68, second storage, that is 69 on the first ESXi. The same thing we can do on second ESXi, the same thing we have to do on the third ESXi. That means total we require 6 IP. Now I can go the second ESXi, I can do the same thing. So you just go add networking, VM kernel adapter, and here I'll be giving IP address 69, then now the 70. 70, finish. Now one more port I'll create it for the second storage. See, this time I'm making on ESXi 2, storage 2, 71, the default subnet mask. Now the third ESXi, we have to do the same thing, add networking, VM kernel port group, and we are making for the first storage, and the IP which I want, 72, the subnet mask default. finish. Then we can do for one more storage. $73. What? 74. So 72 we have given to storage 1. The 73 we have given to storage. Okay, so that means we have given total 6 IPs. Okay. So previously, like we configured for the management, we have given like the 4 uplink. Now we are giving a dedicated uplink 3 and uplink 4 to one of the storage 1 and storage 2. So that is our 6 part. Now the second step, we have to bind this storage group to ESXi 1. How we can bind it? Bind means nothing but, now whatever the port group you created, that port group you have to bind to that particular storage. Okay. So for that, what we need to do, just open your ESXi. That means just open here, go to your ESXi 1, and here you have to go to your storage adapter. Okay. So what is your network adapter? So here you can see you may have multiple. Okay. So here you have based on the requirement you may have multiple storage. Okay. So here like you have picks. I can find this one. Okay. We have something like this is the model. Okay. But right now which we are using, this is our ESXi software adapter. Okay. And right now it's showing the status is online. So here it's showing unknown. Why? Because this is the default. We are not using this one. And this is your IQN number. Here you see this is also very, very important. So what is the use of IQN? You can see this. Okay. Like when every LAN card has default MAC address that is inbuilt. Here also like whenever you connect any storage device, so that storage device is going to have one particular IQN number, okay, which is going to be identified. Okay. So here what we need to do, we have to do network port banding. Just select this. Okay. So this is our adapter. So here you can see you may have multiple options. Okay. So when you see properties, so properties, it will show you some information. Okay. So what is this adapter? Here it will show you the name of your company. So right now we are using like VMHDA 65, that is the name default, and this will be your IQN number, and target discovery still we have not set. Okay. Device information, who is connected to this storage, like whatever the adapter we have. So this adapter accessed by whom? So right now nobody is available. Why? Because we have not banded. Path, dynamic discovery, static discovery, and here one of the option is network port banding. So this option we need to select. Okay, and add. So to whom we are adding? We are adding. So at a time we can select both the storage. Okay, that means what I'm doing here. So the storage which I created. So this adapter I'm binding to those particular storage. Okay. So for that you have to go network port banding, add, and here you have to go with this. The first option I'll select. So one more time I can say add. Second storage also I can add to storage. So at the time you can select, or you can select one by one. So you can rescan here. So rescan storage. So automatically you get the information here. Okay. So this we have to storage. that is connected to the distributed switch. Okay, and right now you can see not used means it's not actually using by anybody. The same process we have to do on all the ESXi. I just go another ESXi, just select the adapter, that is our ESXi software adapter. Just go to the network port banding. See, by default, you may have the option like properties. Okay, so properties, you don't have anything. You have to go to network port banding, add it, and here you can add both these. So at a time now I'm selecting. So here you have the option rescan it. You can see, yes. G. Mm-hmm. So you can repeat the same thing on ESXi3. Just select your ESXi adapter, add networking. Both adapter I can add it. So we have done all this process on our ESXi. Okay. Now we have to go our storage now. Okay. So the 8th step, you have to bind, not be, bind IQN number to all the storage. So whatever the storage we created, you have to bind the IQN number to that particular ESXi. Okay. So how we can do that? Okay. So now one more time I'll go to my we are assuming our vCenter as a storage. Okay. So here, open your server manager. You just go files and storage, and here we can see one of the options ESXi. See, this option comes if you install what if you install that ESXi target. Okay. So normally this option is not available. Okay. So now the storage which I am creating here, so this storage I'm going to connect to those ESXi. Okay. So by using what? By using that particular IQN number. Okay. So what were the IQN number available here? So you can see. So every ESXi initiator, you will be having some kind of there is a IQN number. So this number I'm attaching the storage which I create on the top of my network. So this will, suppose this is my storage. So this storage I'm going to attach to that particular ESXi. Okay. So here I'm going to say create on ESXi virtual disk, start a new ESXi virtual disk design. Okay. So create ESXi virtual disk. Okay. So first of all, which drive you want. Okay. Here you can select any value. So let's say suppose I'm selecting E, and the name. So this is the name for the display. So let's say share storage. I'm just giving storage 1. When you click next, so it asks like how much size you want from that particular drive. I'll take all the space, no problem. 500 GB. Next. And here is asking like new ESXi target. And so here we have to give an the LUN name. So here I'll give a name of the LUN, LUN0. You can make it as 1, 2, 3, whatever the name. So this LUN they are going to access from our ESXi. Okay. So here we need to decide like which ESXi you want to give access to this particular LUN. So whatever the LUN which I'm creating. Okay. When you go next. Okay. So when you add, so which ESXi you want that is going to be accessed this LUN. So LUN is nothing but it's like a drive. When you go market and when you purchase hard disk, so when you start making partition, so the partition, we are going to keep the information. Same thing here, like in storage part, the drive we are going to use as a learn. Okay. So the learn, how you going to access? So here you can add with the help of this. If you already know, you can add it. So either you can add with the help of your IP address, your MAC address, or DNS name. And one of the options we also have here, IQN number. Okay, so we are going to add with the help of IQN number. So that number is available here. So the fourth ESXi, I'm going to add it. Just I'll select this ESXi software adapter, and here this is the IQN number. I can copy this from here. So if you good in typing, you can see and write it, or otherwise just copy and paste. And here I can paste. Okay, that means, so the learn which I'm creating, so that learn is going to be accessed only by this ESXi. But I don't want only one ESXi, I want all the ESXi. So I can add, and I'll go the second ESXi adapter. Here also I have the IQN number. Yes. Add it, IQN number. I have 30 ESXi. Copy. Go to the vCenter. Yes. Okay, that means, so the learn which I'm creating, so it is going to be accessed by this three ESXi. Okay, all the IQN number. Okay. Now you need to have any authentication like tab or something. Okay. So this is for your authentication part. So we are not going to talk about this. Next and create it. Okay. So it will take at least some time. So right now it's saying not connected. Why? Because it is not created actually. It will take some time. I will refresh it. Now the same thing, what I can do, I can make one more new virtual hard disk. Now I have one more here. S. See, we have already created. See, the reason like why I created two, why, because whatever I'm doing on the first, same I'm repeating for second, so that you don't have any confusion. Okay. So here this is my storage. Share storage 2. So I'll be giving complete space. And now to whom you want to add. Now I'm going to add to. So I don't want learn 0. I want to make another learn LUN 1. Next, and I'm going to add 3. So we have already added this one. So at a time I can select it. From here only I can select direct. If you have not added, then you have to select here. You have to go to the ESXi, just copy and paste. That you can do that. So these 3 ESXi I'm going to add 2 seconds. Again, we have the authentication part and create. So right now you can see here it's showing it is not connected. Target status is not connected. That means, so by default it will show you like this, because like we are giving access to the ESXi server. Okay. Are you understanding? Now, to see the result, what we can do? This still is not connected. To see the result, we can go to our ESXi. Okay, just go to our vSensor and select your adapter. And here, like, who is connected? You can go target tab, rescan. Dynamic. vCenter. That doesn't have to be shown here. We'll go to devices. The information will be added here. It's not shown. So here also it show you connected, not showing connected here. Let me reopen this. Okay. So the last option here, we have to go dynamic discovery. See, right now it's not showing the devices here. Okay. So to show the information, I can give the address information of our vCenter. So see, our storage is actually a vCenter. Okay. So here I can use IP or I can use the name. Okay. So the IP of my vCenter 192.168.57.65 is my vCenter IP, and this is the port which is default. Rescan. So if I go to now devices and if I rescan, so now you can see there are two LUNs available here. Okay, and both the space are available for 500 KB. Okay, the same thing I can repeat on my second ESXi. I just select. See, previously it was not showing this one. If I go to network port band, here it's not showing this port group. So I reconnect to my vCenter. So just go to your dynamic discovery. It's not directly adding. So we can add by using the IP. So the IP of my vCenter 192.168.57.60, no, 60, oh, 65. You can rescan this. So now if you go to your devices, so here also it show you same thing you can go. So see, by default when I'm going to devices, it's not showing the information of that particular learn we created. Okay, to get that learn information, we are adding the information of that particular storage 192.168 57.65. So now it will try to understand. Now if I go to the devices, it's still not showing. Refresh. Now, so one more time, if I go to my storage, it's not connected. Now if I refresh, here also it show you connected. Now you can see both are connected. To whom connected? The icon number we have given. Okay. So here you can decide, like suppose learn one, I want to give only access to one particular ESXi. So I can use only one icon number. I don't want two, three. Okay. So that is also we can do that. Okay. So whenever you make a learn, so that learn to whom you want to give access. So you just only put the icon number of that particular ESXi. No need for all the ESXi. Okay. So now what we have done till now, we created all the learns, and that learn is going to access by your your storage. Okay. So the last step, now we are going to format the learn we created with our the file system. Okay. So normally what happens, like if you just purchase hard disk, and if you want to make drive, the drive we are going to format with the help of certain file system. Okay. If you're using your Windows, you may have different file systems. If you're using Linux, you may also have different file systems. Even in VMware also we may have one particular file system, that is VMFS. Okay. Now for that what we can do, you have to just go to home, and here one option is available, storage. Okay. So right now you can see here, if you remember, if you go to storage, so we have data stores here. Okay. So if I go like, which is this data store belongs to whom? If I go to host, so now I come to know this data store is actually connected to ESXi1. Okay, so that means whatever whatever the virtual machine I create, so that virtual machine file, suppose if I create on the top of this particular data store, so this data store is not going to be accessed from second data store or from third data store. Okay, so you can see this data store is actually created, and these are the local data stores available on that particular ESXi. Okay, so ESXi is nothing but ESXi is a host. So that host have hard disk. So when I install ESXi, now the files actually is available here. So what happens if this hard disk, if something happens, so whatever the virtual machines are available, you cannot use this virtual machine on another ESXi. Why? Because this is called a local storage of ESXi1, and this is the local storage of ESXi2, and this is the local storage of ESXi3. Okay. So that means whenever I'm going to create, so I don't want to use this. Okay, so I can rename it so that we can understand. So right click and say rename. Yeah, here the option is there. Data store one. Right click. I just select this. Rename local storage ESXi one. Now I can understand this. Right click. Rename local storage ESXi two. ESXi three. But now, if you remember, like we created learn, and that learn I want to access. So what I can do with those particular learn, I can make one. Uh, we are going to format that. So how we can do this? We are going to make one data store. So right click, and here we have an option. Just go to storage, and we have new data store. So that data store, which file system you want? NFS, VVOL, or VMFS. Okay, so maybe some other time I'll show you like what is NFS. So we have separate session for this, and we also have virtual machine data store on the virtual storage container connected to the storage provider. Okay, so VMFS, this is a virtual machine file system. Next, okay, what the name you want? Okay, so I'll be giving a name here. Share storage. And see, whatever the name you want, you can put, so that name will be displayed here. Let's say suppose I create separate data store just only to keep my virtual machine. I can make separate data store to keep some protection like this. Whatever the name you want, you can give it here. Okay. So let's say suppose I create a learn share data store one, and here to whom you want this shared storage access, you can put any. Okay, so that will be access. So this ESXi is actually these two types of learn. Okay, so I'll just give first learn here, and we are going to format with VMFS6. This is version high version. And if you see, so that learn is going to have total 500 GB. Okay, so you can give complete 500 GB right now, or you can give half. Later on, you can able to use that much. Okay, so later you can even extend this data store. Okay, so let's say I'm giving 300 here. Next, and finish. So one learn will be created here by shared storage, shared data store. Okay, and this will be access to all the ESXi whatever we create. Like that, if you want, you can make one more. right click, storage, data store. And now I want to create, let's say for my virtual machine. Okay, so one more learn is there. I can use that. And now let's say I'll give complete 500, finish. So the reason like why we created, so now if you see like this share data store accessed by how many ESXi. So it will say now this is accessed by ESXi 1, ESXi 2, ESXi 3, but this local storage is accessed only by this particular ESXi. This virtual machine, it is going to access by all the ESXi. Okay, so that means like if some like whatever the file which I'm keeping, so that file not only I can access on ESXi 1, it can also access by ESXi 2 or ESXi 3. Okay, so this is how we can able to create all our data store here. Okay, to create this data store, now we have done all this practice. Okay, so from starting like we what we have done till now. So the first thing like we add to new hard disk, whatever the size you want you can add it, and you have to make a drive, and then you have to install this initiator, that is your server manager, and you have to add some initiator to all the ESXi. That means like you have to go to your each and every ESXi and you have to add the initiator adapter. Then after that you have to make a DB port group. If you have already created, then no need for that. Then if you want to handle the traffic, you can give dedicated uplink for a particular storage. And the most important thing, you have to make a kernel port. Okay, for every storage you have to make a kernel port. Okay, now after that we have done like we band the storage port group to a particular storage, and this is with the help of network port banding. Then after that we band the icon number to all the storage, whatever the ESXi you want to access, then you can. And the last thing what we have done, we are going to see, create a data store, and this data store being formatted with the help of VMware. Okay, so this is our practical for storage. Okay, see it looks like very simple, but when you start doing practical, you actually get it all. Okay, so hope you understand. If you have any questions, please ask me.